The brain, our most vital and complex organ, is securely housed within the skull, a protective structure made up of 22 bones. Of these, 8 bones form the cranium, the hard, rounded shell that encases and shields the brain from injury. These bones include the frontal bone, parietal bones, occipital bone, temporal bones, sphenoid, and ethmoid bones. The cranial bones are joined together by immovable joints called sutures, which interlock like puzzle pieces. Beneath the skull lie 3 layers of connective tissue known as the meninges, the dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater, which provide additional cushioning and protection. Between the arachnoid and pia mater lies the subarachnoid space, filled with cerebrospinal fluid, which acts as a shock absorber. This combination of hard bone, soft tissue, and fluid creates a multi-layered defense system that keeps the brain safe from physical trauma and infection. With this fortress in place, the brain is free to perform its incredibly complex functions. The human brain weighs around 1.3 to 1.4 kilograms, roughly 3 pounds, yet it contains approximately 86 billion neurons. It is divided into 3 main regions: the cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem. These components work in harmony to manage everything from conscious thought to involuntary reflexes. The cerebrum is the largest part, making up about 80% of the brain's volume. It is responsible for higher functions such as memory, language, voluntary movement, and consciousness. Below it lies the cerebellum, which is smaller but crucial for coordination and balance. At the base of the brain is the brainstem, which connects the brain to the spinal cord and controls vital functions such as heart rate, breathing, and digestion. The surface of the brain is covered in folds called gyri and grooves called sulci, which increase surface area and allow more room for complex processing. This wrinkled appearance is key to our brain's advanced capabilities. The cerebrum is divided into 2 hemispheres, left and right, connected by a thick bundle of nerve fibers known as the corpus callosum. While both hemispheres communicate and coordinate with each other, they are somewhat specialized. The left hemisphere is typically more involved in language, logic, and analytical thinking, while the right hemisphere is associated with creativity, spatial ability, and emotional processing. Each hemisphere contains 4 distinct lobes. Frontal lobe, located at the front of the brain, it governs reasoning, decision-making, emotions, voluntary movement, and aspects of speech. Parietal lobe, located near the top and back of the brain, it processes sensory input such as touch, temperature, and pain, and plays a role in spatial orientation. Temporal lobe, found near the sides of the brain, it's primarily responsible for auditory processing, language comprehension, and aspects of memory. Occipital lobe, located at the back of the brain, it is dedicated to visual processing, interpreting signals from the eyes to form images. These lobes do not function in isolation. They work together, integrating information to create our experiences of reality. To understand how the brain evolved, scientists often describe it using the ice cream scoop model. This model layers brain structures from oldest to newest, offering a helpful view of brain evolution. At the bottom is the brainstem and cerebellum, which regulate automatic survival functions like heartbeat, breathing, and motor coordination. This part is often referred to as the lizard brain, due to its similarity to reptilian brains, which rely on instinctive behaviors. Above that sits the limbic system, known as the rat brain. It includes structures like the hippocampus, amygdala, and hypothalamus, which regulate emotions, memory, and hormonal control. This layer enables more complex behaviors like bonding and aggression. Finally, at the top is the cerebral cortex, often called the monkey brain due to its expansion in primates. This region is responsible for reasoning, abstract thought, language, and advanced planning. The cortex's folded structure allows for immense processing power in a compact space. At the core of brain function is the neuron, the primary cell that sends electrical and chemical signals. Neurons consist of dendrites, which receive signals, a cell body, which processes them, and an axon, which sends them to the next neuron. These signals travel in the form of action potentials, which are rapid electrical impulses. But neurons are not alone. They are supported by glial cells, or neuroglia, which play critical roles in maintaining brain health and functionality. There are four main types of glial cells in the central nervous system. Oligodendrocytes form the myelin sheath, which insulates axons and speeds up signal transmission. Astrocytes maintain the chemical environment, provide nutrients to neurons, and assist in repair after injury. Microglia act as the brain's immune defense, identifying and removing damaged neurons or pathogens. Ependymal cells line the ventricles of the brain and help circulate cerebrospinal fluid, which cushions and nourishes the brain. Together, neurons and glial cells create the intricate web of communication that defines thought, emotion, memory, and more. The brain is bathed in a clear liquid called cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, which fills the ventricles, internal cavities, and the space around the brain and spinal cord. CSF cushions the brain against impacts, maintains pressure, and removes waste products from neural tissue. Another key protective feature is the blood-brain barrier, BBB. Unlike typical capillaries that allow free exchange of substances, the blood vessels in the brain have tight junctions that selectively filter what can pass into brain tissue. Essential nutrients like glucose and oxygen are allowed in, while potentially harmful molecules such as pathogens, toxins, and many drugs are blocked. This selective permeability helps maintain the stable environment that neurons require to function correctly. However, it also poses challenges in treating brain diseases since many medications cannot cross the barrier. The human brain is an extraordinary structure, protected by the skull, powered by neurons, supported by glial cells, and organized into beautifully intricate regions. From its evolutionary roots to its complex chemistry, the brain coordinates every thought, feeling, and action. Understanding the brain's anatomy and physiology isn't just academic, it's a gateway to understanding ourselves. Whether you're a student, a health enthusiast, or just curious about how your mind works, exploring the brain opens up a world of knowledge. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more videos on how the body works, consider subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment with any questions or topics you'd like to see next. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in for an insight on health. We hope to meet you in our next health tip session.